Hi, everyone. It's Ashley from Wholesaling Out of the Box, and today I'm joined by Kaylee Body, and we are talking about driving for dollars and skip tracing. So, for those of you that don't know, driving for dollars is basically just driving around neighborhoods that are good markets for sellers or buyers and picking out houses by various criteria to start marketing to. And then skip tracing sort of goes along with that by helping you find out who owns the house, what their phone number is, their email address, maybe their mailing address, just so that you can start getting into contact with them. So I've got Kaylee on here because she's got some fun driving for dollars stories, and she's like our super sleuth. Whenever we're like, we can't find someone, she will go and find them using her own skip tracing methods. So Kaylee, why don't you tell us a little bit more about what driving for dollars is and your experience with it?
Yeah, so yeah, it is basically what you said. You're just driving around. Well, see, here's how I do it. I don't set a particular neighborhood to drive around. I drive around wherever I happen to be. So if I have an appointment somewhere, drive around a few blocks or something, a couple of blocks, and see what I can find based on certain criteria. You know what you're looking for. No grass is cut, AC's in the window, it's run down, whatever the criteria I'm looking for. And I jot down the address so I can then go do my PI work and find the seller contact information later. That's the fun part.
Yeah. Well, you were telling me before we got on here too that your sister always uses you right before dates.
Yes. So she does dates off of the dating apps and things like that. So she'll have me look up the guy first to see if there's any criminal records and what I can find on him. It's interesting. There's actually one person, mid-20s, couldn't find anything, not even a social media. I was like, don't go. What 25 or 26-year-old does not have a social media account? I was like, don't go on that one.
Yeah. That's a red flag, right?
Yes.
Okay. And so you're just driving around neighborhoods as you are doing other business. You aren't necessarily making plans to drive for dollars specifically.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty much the only way I can fit it into my schedule.
Yeah. And so if you're newer to wholesaling or you're doing this as a second job, as your side hustle, that's going to be key. Being able to take that time and say, okay, I'm going to give myself an extra 20 minutes on the way to my doctor's appointment to be able to drive for dollars a little bit. Yes. We do know, we have people in our company that drive more intentionally. They'll look up specific neighborhoods and they'll go drive those neighborhoods that are considered hot because they're moving markets. But whatever you can do is really helpful.
Yeah.
So then my next one is, when should you do it? At what point in your wholesaling journey? Is this something that you think you start with? Is it something that you do later?
You do this day one or before day one, because it's the easiest, the least expensive to do. All you're wasting is gas. So all you're investing is gas. Mm-hmm. So yes, start from day one on driving for dollars.
Yeah. Sorry, writing stuff down. And then what kind of tips and tricks do you have? What things you in particular look for, that kind of thing?
Well, first, it's a lot easier if there's someone else in the car helping me look. So I can look on one side of the road, the other person can look on the other side of the road. So that helps if you don't have to go by yourself. That's perfect. And things that I look for, I'm in Virginia Beach a lot. So people who have not cut their grass in a few weeks is a key indicator on that. Jump on that before the city jumps on them. Yeah, just houses that look vacant. In Virginia Beach, I think it's harder to find houses driving for dollar just because the city is going to be on your ass right away.
Yeah, they really jump on that. People complain and then it's like, boom. Yep. Oh, I got a grass bill.
Yes. So, but that's the city I live in. So that's the city I'm in mostly. But I'm driving around. Norfolk is a good one where you find a lot of properties that you could call on in certain parts of Chesapeake. But yeah, you're just looking for those key things. Think something that might be look vacant. You know, the outside of the house is run down, grass is not taken care of. You know, stuff like that.
Okay. And what's your next step after you identify 1 to however many properties?
Yep.
Like, what do you do next?
So once I have the address, then I don't pay for skip tracing exactly. I don't know, do I say the thing I use or not?
Yeah, you can, but you were grandfathered into like this amazing.
Yes. So I got this great promotional deal a year ago when I started wholesaling on benverified.com. You can't find this price, but Ben Verified is great. I only pay $1.28 a week. That's it. I will never cancel it because I'll never get that price back. And
Yeah.
it's unlimited searches. And the searches bring back, so if I'm searching for a property, then it'll bring back the property owner, and then all various contact information, phone numbers, email addresses, social media accounts for that owner. And if you're nosy, it also has its criminal and traffic records on it. So if you want to know who you're dealing with at a time. And it also has the relatives and associates. So if you can't get the person on the phone numbers, start calling the relatives. You know, it has their phone numbers. It's very in depth.
Yeah. And I don't know if we have one of these, but we'll try to see if we can get a discount code for you guys. And if we succeeded, it'll be in the show notes. If not, I'll cut this part out. So
well, I will say, so it's not a skip tracing company. Like you can't send stuff to them in bulk. I already asked. So you actually have to do like one at a time. So this is when you're starting in the beginning.
And you have more time than money.
Yes.
That's the way to go. Now, if you're a little bit farther along and you have some more money and you want to get some of that time back, we offer some really good skip tracing deals on our website. If you go to wholesalingoutofthebox.com, there's a skip tracing tab under resources, I think. And I'll link to that in the show notes as well. But that it gives you, I think we're at to 13 cents per lead. And if you sign up for our program, it goes down as low as 7 cents per lead. And you get them back within a day, maybe 2, depending on, you know, if it's a weekend or not. So then I guess that's back to the skip tracing part of it. So Kaylee, what is skip tracing to you? I gave a short definition earlier, but if you can expand on that.
Yeah, so if you're using a third-party company, you're sending them your list of addresses that you've gotten from Driving for Dollars or wherever you send it to them, and they will do the research for you to find the contact information, send it back to you in 24 to 48 hours. You start making those calls. It could be landlines, it could be mobile phones, email addresses, and then you start reaching out.
Okay. And what was the craziest way you found a seller or someone involved in a deal?
The craziest way? I don't think any of it's crazy, but I did stalk people on Facebook.
Yeah.
I've done Facebook stalking. Yeah, so I had a name because you can look up names in tax records. And if I couldn't find a phone number, I'm looking you up on social media and I will contact you there. Yes. I don't give up.
Yeah, there are so many ways to try to find a seller. I know that Sean has also used Facebook to reach out and say, hey, I'm looking to buy your house.
Yeah.
But I think, you know, just this skip tracing, Driving for Dollars, it's a really good way to get started and help you find deals or find potential deals. It never hurts in the beginning to look at these houses and say, okay, well, I think that this, you know, the roof is caving in, so it's obviously not in good shape, and like that could be a candidate for wholesaling or investing in if you have the money or anything like that. So just using this as a place start, and then from there, that's when you start getting into your marketing, whether it's little bit bulk if you're sending a lot of letters or making a lot of calls, or a little bit more personal if you're only doing 10, 15 driving for dollar properties at a time. So Kaylee, what kind of advice do you have for people looking to get started in regards to driving for dollars and skip tracing?
Start.
Okay.
Just start. And don't let the fear of that first call slow you down. Don't let it hinder you. You're going, make the call. It's fearful, it's frightening. You're going to fuck up the first time. Just do it. You know, get past the get through a couple of calls. It'll get easier. It'll get a lot easier. And then when you get your first contract, it'll all be worth it, and you'll be so excited and ready to do the next one. So that's the only thing I could say. Just start. Just do it, the whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah, don't get that oh God, what's it called? The
analysis paralysis.
Analysis paralysis. Yeah.
Because that was me for the longest time.
Yes, I think it's easy. There's so much out there, so much information, us included, that you're just kind of like, oh God, what do I do? And if you just start, like there are worse things you could do than talking to sellers. Yeah. So just find a house, start trying to talk to sellers, and from there you'll get more comfortable with all of it.
Yeah. And if you're driving for dollars, again, which you're not, spending a lot of money on, really your investment is your gas and your time. That's your investment. And if you're skip tracing it, which is very minimal amount of money, so you're not like wasting a lot of money. So just do it. That's the best way to start. I had a thought I was going with somewhere and I forgot it because my phone rang. I was going somewhere with that, but I forgot. But yeah, so maybe it'll come back to me.
Yeah. Yeah, like Kaylee said, just get started. We had an episode about analysis paralysis, and I'll link to that into the show notes so that you guys can go back and listen or watch to that. And you can do as much research as you want, and it'll still be overwhelming, no matter how much knowledge you think you have before you get started. Because you don't know what you don't know, and it's easier to just put your foot in the door.
Oh, I remember now. Sorry. I was gonna say, like, the worst thing anyone could do is say no. And if they say no, what position are you in? The same place you were. You're not worse. You will never be worse off. So because you're not really, like I said, you're not really investing that much money if you're doing driving for dollars. So just do it. They don't know you. All they can do is say no, might curse you out, but it doesn't affect you and negatively in any way.
Yeah, and in this business, there's a lot of no's anyway. So getting started to get used to those no's isn't a bad thing either.
Correct.
I just want to end with letting you guys know about an app that we use. It's called Batch Driven. And so with this app, you can do both driving for dollars and skip tracing. I'll have the referral link where you can get a little bit of a discount when you first sign up in the show notes. And their skip tracing is pretty reasonable. It normally gives us at least 2 to 3 numbers, if not more, sometimes up to 10. And I think the driving for dollar routes it's so useful because it'll show you how long you took. It'll save you from having to physically write down the address as you're going. And it'll give you a lot of information about, okay, I drove for 2 hours and I found 10 properties. So if I want to be able to get 10 properties, I know I have to drive for 2 hours. That's called key performance indicators, KPIs, and we here are super big on those. So Kaylee, anything else before we sign off here?
No, I can't think of anything.
All right, so I'm going to try this and we're going to see if I freeze again. Thank you everyone for listening or watching us. Damn it. If you want to find out more about us or our program, any of our services, then you can go to www.wholesalingoutofthebox.com. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, your podcatcher of choice. We're pretty much everywhere now. And thank you so much for listening. We'll see you guys next time.
Thank you.
Bye.